Susan couldn't shake her thoughts about Jacob's engagement party. As the day crept by, unease settled in her chest. By evening, she rushed home, but Ethan didn't return until the sky was cloaked in darkness. "I think I saw you at Green Mountain today," she ventured cautiously as he walked in. Ethan's brow lifted slightly. "You were there?" "Yes, what? Were you doing there?" A teasing smile tugged at her lips. "Did you buy a house?" "No." His answer was curt as he reached for the cutlery. Daniel had dragged him to tour properties in Green Mountain earlier, arguing he needed something more spacious if he planned to stay in California long term. But Ethan dismissed the idea. The sprawling villas felt suffocating. Besides, after Susan's trauma, he doubted she'd ever want to live in a place so isolated. He missed the brief flicker of doubt that clouded her expression. Susan wanted to believe him, but Jacob's earlier words lingered in her mind. His cousin had bought a villa there. Why was Ethan lying? Was he planning to let Sophia design his home? She could live with him keeping secrets, but hiring Sophia would be unforgivable. "Well, if you did buy a house, I wouldn't force you to hire me as your designer." Her tone was light, masking the tension beneath her words. "I already said no." His reply was brisk, final. She tightened her grip on the cutlery, forcing herself to change the subject. Do you have any events coming up soon? Maybe you'll need a female companion?" He set down his utensils and met her gaze, piercing and unreadable. "What are you getting at?" "My grandma's turning 80 at the end of the month." She drew a steadying breath. "The celebration's being combined with Jacob and Sophia's engagement party. I have no choice but to attend. Grandma was always kind to me when I was little." Her voice softened as she hesitated before adding, Would you come with me?" Hope shimmered faintly in her eyes as she waited for his answer. It took Ethan only seconds to grasp the Drew family's true intention behind the invitation. "I remember telling you before we married. I won't meet your family," he said coolly. "But you're going to the engagement ceremony anyway," she blurted. "Why?" His sharp gaze locked onto her, radiating disdain. He barely knew her family, but from what he did know, they disgusted him. They'd never keep their word. "Because you're Jacob's cousin." The words nearly escaped her, but she bit her tongue just in time. "Because many influential people from California will attend. I thought it might benefit you?" she stammered. "Sorry." His voice turned ice cold. "I won't show up at low-grade events like that." Her breath hitched. Low grade? He dismissed his own cousin's engagement as beneath him? How superior did this man think he was? Was arrogance a side effect of living abroad? His indifferent tone grated on her nerves. "Besides, I advise you not to go either," Ethan added, his gaze piercing. "I won't waste my time rescuing you again." Any lingering hope she had about Ethan feeling something for her shattered instantly. Her appetite vanished. Suppressing her rising frustration, she grabbed her phone and opened WhatsApp. Susan paced back and forth in the kitchen, her frustration bubbling over. Ethan's cold dismissal replayed in her mind, igniting her temper. She snatched her phone and opened WhatsApp. "Susan, you said he might be slightly interested in me? Sorry, but I can't feel it at all. Every second spent with him makes my blood boil." Her thumb hovered over the send button before she firmly pressed it. Moments later, her phone vibrated. A message from Helen popped up. "Helen, hey, keep trying. He's just being stubborn. Want to go out for supper? It's been too long." Susan glanced toward the living room. Ethan lounged lazily on the couch, scrolling through his phone, completely indifferent to her existence. She sighed and typed back. "Susan. Probably not. He'll lecture me if I leave the house." The reply came almost instantly. "Helen, girl, you're not his housekeeper and he doesn't even pay you. You're spoiling him way too much." Susan glared at Ethan, who hadn't moved an inch since finishing dinner. Without clearing the dishes, of course. Her fingers tightened around the phone as she typed. "Susan, you're absolutely right. He's the real spoiled one." Susan scowled. Her eyes darted back to Ethan, who, after dinner, hadn't even bothered clearing the dishes. Frustration surged through her like a breaking dam. Susan placed the last dish into the drying rack, her hands trembling with suppressed frustration. She'd wanted to be his wife, not his unpaid housekeeper. The endless tasks, the cutting remarks. Was this what she'd signed up for? Drawing a deep breath, she dried her hands and returned to the living room. Ethan lounged on the couch, lazily scrolling through his phone, exuding effortless authority. He didn't even glance up when she approached. "I'm going out for a little while later," she ventured cautiously. His sharp gaze snapped up, locking onto hers with practiced coldness. "Where to?" His voice carried a razor-sharp edge. "The Drew family? Out drinking, or perhaps a date with your precious senior?" His words dripped with scorn, each one landing like a slap. "Don't forget you still have housework," he added as if twisting the knife wasn't enough. Her breath hitched, but she forced her tone to remain calm, masking the sting beneath indifference. "I'm going shopping with Helen." She squared her shoulders. "It's getting cold and I need warmer clothes." His gaze swept over her, lingering in places that made her skin prickle. "You do need warmer clothes," he remarked, his voice deceptively casual. "Stop wearing such thin loungewear around me all day." Heat rushed to her face. Was he blaming her for his wandering eyes? Her wardrobe choices weren't made for his benefit, even if he was the only one who seemed to notice. Before she could craft a retort, Ethan leaned back, stretching with deliberate laziness. "I need some new clothes, too." He waved a dismissive hand. "Pick up a few things for me while you're at it. Use the card I gave you." Her nails bit into her palms. Was he serious? "You can buy your own clothes," she snapped. "I'm not your real wife." His head tilted, a slow, knowing smile curving his lips. "What?" His voice dropped, smooth yet lethal. "Is there a hidden meaning behind that?" Her cheeks burned hotter. Why did he have to twist everything she said? "All right, what size are you?" The words slipped out grudgingly. His eyes narrowed, darkening with faint displeasure. "You don't even know my size," he bit out coldly. "And yet you still dream of getting closer to me?" The accusation hit harder than she expected. Did he truly think she was that desperate? That small? Her gaze dropped, but her voice softened, barely above a whisper. "I'm sorry that I've not done enough." For a heartbeat, something flickered in his eyes. Something unreadable. Something almost human. But it was gone before she could grasp it, leaving only the cold, distant man she had married. Ethan snorted dismissively, crossing his arms. "What price range are you considering?" Susan shrugged. "Anything."
He arched a brow, unimpressed. Tailored, world-class designs were all he'd ever worn. The thought of her picking something off a department store rack seemed absurd, but for some reason, he didn't object. Fine. 10 minutes later, Helen's red sedan pulled up outside. Susan slipped into the passenger seat with a sigh of resignation. "Let's go to the mall. Ethan wants me to buy him clothes." Helen blinked, stunned. "Wait, what about the seafood feast? I haven't even had dinner yet." Susan grimaced. "I couldn't get out of it. He practically ordered me." Helen's face twisted in disbelief. "Where's your dignity? What happened to that fierce attitude you used to have?" Susan stared out the window, her voice soft but resolute. "You don't understand. He always brings up how I made him sick before. Besides," she hesitated, "he saved my life twice. I owe him." Helen groaned dramatically. "That man doesn't need a housekeeper. He needs a miracle worker." Susan's lips curved into a faint, tired smile. "I know. I'm just his housekeeper." For a long moment, silence settled over them as the city lights flickered past. Then, Helen tilted her head thoughtfully. "You said you wanted to stand before Jacob and Sophia as his aunt, right?" Susan stiffened. "Their engagement ceremony is soon." Helen's eyes gleamed with mischief. "Maybe to Ethan, you're still just a good cook. But if you want that to change, you'll have to make things irreversible. Susan's breath hitched. The unspoken implication hung heavily between them. She clenched her fists. The path ahead was uncertain, but if there was one thing she knew, it was this. She refused to be cast aside anymore.
We're excited to be getting closer to our next big milestone of 5,000 subscribers. If you enjoy listening to stories like this, subscribe and become a part of this growing community.